The first strike was not subtle. The Galactic Council had convened in judgment over humanity. They gathered in their grand chamber of glass and obsidian, a palace orbiting the white dwarf star of Shurus. Delegates of 100 species voted, their voices raised in haughty disdain, dripping with superiority. Humanity, they declared, was a danger. Not because we had attacked them. Not because we had threatened them. No, our crime was survival. We had expanded too fast, tamed too many hostile worlds, built colonies where no other race dared to land. We turned deserts green, carved cities into volcanic plains, and raised ships from the bones of dead moons. To the Council, this meant we were unruly, unpredictable, dangerous. The verdict was unanimous. Humanity was to be removed from the galactic equation. The first blow fell upon the colony of Eos Prime, a world of oceans and rising spires. The Council sent not envoys, not warnings, but a fleet of cleansing fire. They descended without preamble, burning cities to ash, drowning starports in orbital bombardment. 8 million men, women, and children perished as the sea boiled and towers cracked like bones. A recording was broadcast across the stars, the Council's smug voice overlaying the screams. Observe the end of the Terran expansion. One colony erased as an example to the rest. Humanity's chapter is finished. They believed it. The councilors reclined in their chambers, congratulating themselves for their resolve. To them, Earth was a fledgling world state, too fractured, too sentimental, too civilized to strike back. They called us the tamed primates, housebroken predators kept docile by trade and treaties. They toasted the efficiency of their purge, certain we would kneel, beg for leniency, and fade into memory. They were wrong. For weeks, the stars were quiet. No fleets launched from Earth. No threats echoed from our colonies. The galaxy mocked us openly. On alien newsnets, pundits sneered. Humans are finished. They will lick their wounds and vanish. At banquets, council delegates joked about offering the remnants of our colonies as reserves, zoos to remember our species by. The laughter rang out across worlds, but silence does not mean surrender. Silence was the drumbeat before the march. Deep within the Sol system, forges flared brighter than suns. Shipyards worked without pause, building not freighters or explorers, but war machines designed in secret, plans written for a day such as this. Names long dormant were spoken again. Retribution class, Dreadfire, Iron Saints. Fleets that had never been seen beyond Sol stirred from shadow docks, and across every colony, every outpost, every listening station, a single coded message pulsed in the void. Eos burns. Council laughs. Mobilize. The galaxy did not see it at first. They could not hear the storm gathering behind the curtain of silence. But then, the silence broke. It began with comms intercepts. Council patrols on the edges of Terran space reported movement, long-range signatures too massive for simple defense fleets. Then came the ghost signals. Entire squadrons vanishing without distress calls. Patrol ships blinking from the stars as if erased. At first, the Council dismissed it. Malfunction, they said. Anomalies. Their arrogance made them blind. And then the first human broadcast cut through every channel in Council space. A voice, distorted yet unmistakable, echoed in every tongue. You declared humanity's death. You shall meet your own. We are coming. The laughter ended. The galaxy watched in horror as the storm unfurled. Human fleets emerged not as scattered defenders, but as armadas, formations of steel and fire, their hulls bristling with weapons that shimmered like storms caged in iron. At the Battle of Rune's Edge, a council fleet of 80 warships faced them. They expected desperation. What they found was precision. The humans did not fight for survival. They fought for vengeance. In silence, dreadnoughts opened fire. Beams carved through council flagships, splitting them like fruit under a blade. Torpedoes the size of houses streaked into carriers, detonating with sun's fury. Council ships tried to retreat. None escaped. In less than an hour, 80 ships were reduced to drifting debris. The humans sent no demands, no parley, only one. Message broadcast on all channels as wreckage burned. Eos is avenged. This is the beginning. The galaxy trembled. System by system, the tide rolled outward. Council warfleets scrambled to meet the Terran armadas, but everywhere they were outmaneuvered. Human ships moved with brutal coordination, as if every captain shared a single mind, a single fury. Planets where Council governors once mocked us were encircled, their skies filled with shadows of Terran carriers. When one governor dared to broadcast defiance, a Terran fleet descended, severed orbital defenses, and unleashed their wrath. Not upon the civilians, not upon the helpless, but upon the Council's forces themselves. Every garrison obliterated, every command center reduced to molten slag. The message was clear. This is not slaughter. This is judgment. Witnesses began to speak of them in whispers. The Iron Storm, the Endless Fleet. Some said human dreadnoughts blotted out the stars, that their volleys were like thunder made visible. Survivors told of comms intercepts filled not with threats, but with names. The names of every victim of Eos Prime, recited before the bombardment began. And still, humanity advanced. At the height of the retaliation came the fall of Shurus itself, the Council's shining capital. The Council believed themselves safe, hidden behind walls of defense platforms, guarded by a fleet 300 strong. They convened in their crystal palace, their voices shrill with panic, yet clinging to arrogance. They will not dare strike the seat of order. They cannot. But then the stars around Shurus darkened. One by one, human warfleets arrived, phasing from the dark between stars. Thousands of ships, their formations vast as constellations, their drives glowing like suns. The Council's defenses opened fire, beams and missiles streaking into the void. The humans did not flinch. They advanced through fire, their dreadnoughts absorbing storms of plasma, their cruisers weaving destruction. The battle was not a battle, it was an execution. Council fleets shattered under barrages that tore space itself into ribbons. Defenses crumbled, stations cracked apart, and the capital that had ordered humanity's death became a furnace. The palace of glass and obsidian was the last to fall. Survivors claimed the Terran flagships did not destroy it with random fire. No, they aligned every gun, every torpedo, to focus upon the Council chamber itself. And when the bombardment struck, the explosion shone brighter than the white dwarf it orbited. The Council's voice, the one that had mocked Eos, that had sneered at humanity's survival, was silenced in a single blinding moment. When the flames dimmed, the void was silent. The galaxy held its breath. On 1,000 worlds, survivors of the Council's authority whispered of what they had seen. Entire armadas erased, capitals burning, dreadnoughts blotting out the sky. Humanity had not merely answered. They had rewritten the decree of death. The whispers spread, quiet as prayer, fearful as prophecy. Never provoke Earth again. The Phi's galaxy had seen our patience, centuries of restraint, centuries of diplomacy. But now they had seen our vengeance, cold and infinite. They realized the truth too late. Humanity's silence is not weakness. It is the drawing of breath before the scream. And when that scream comes, it shakes the stars. The Council declared our death, and met theirs.